Data Science Nigeria hosted the first national summit on big data economy with the theme New Frontiers in Data Science, Machine Learning and Artificial Intelligence for Nigeria's Development. The summit featured over 20 leading experts and researchers in the field of data science and analytics. Olumide Olayinka, partner and head, Risk Consulting, Innovation and Data Analytics, KPMG, one of the speakers at the event, addressed stakeholders on the practical applications of data and analytics in business and government.
Honestly, there's a lot of work for us to do from building the trust of data. We did a survey in KPMG, and we found that only 34 respondents say that they have a high level trust in the data, in operational data that they get. Meaning, all of us have a lot of work to do to ensure that the integrity and the quality of your data is important. Because you want to make good decisions. 43% say they have, which is better from a security risk perspective, that 43% can trust the data, but it's still not good enough. So clearly, building trust in the data is going to be very key as we go forward. Because if I rely on the data and it fails me, we will have taken 1 step forward and 5 steps backwards. So it's important that we get the quality of data to be able to move forward. And some of the things that you need to do to build trust in data is the quality of the data. The number of people that you are addressing, is it a reflection of the populace? How many people are carrying smartphones? If you saw the statistics I had, only 26 million people. Nigeria, we have 180 million. So the quality of our data, we have to work on. And we are still not there. For me, as a business to thrive on. Let me tell you one of the things I'm beginning to see from executives, just speaking to executives. They tell me clearly, because of the capital and risks in my business, I cannot rely on intuition. Gone are the days of relying on intuition. You have to bring data, and data that has quality for me to make those decisions. I'm looking for the data. I'm not finding the data. So it's important that the quality of the data is important because they're going to make decisions. And some of those decisions are going to put capital at risk. So for me, I can't overemphasize building trust in data for us to move forward. If not, we will take 1 step forward and 5 steps backwards. So in doing that, it has to have quality, it has to have integrity, meaning it is accurate enough for me to make a decision on. It has to be effective. It has to be relevant for my decision making. And then finally, it has to be resilient, scalable, to be able to take the data as we move forward. So, and I think this is for us another area we're looking at, to be able to build the trust. If not, you build all these systems, they will not rely on it. And if they don't rely on it, it will not add value to them. What are the key takeaways? Next slide. For me, the first takeaway is that machines, robots, AI, all those things are not going to take jobs away from us. They're going to take those jobs that are uninteresting. Because when I was speaking to the risk managers in a bank, I told them that you have to unlearn and relearn. Today, a risk manager in a bank spends 80 to 90% of his time just collecting data. And if at all, he might not even spend 10% of being a risk manager. So, honestly, are you really a risk manager or a data collector? So what I told them is that all that work that you are doing now, that you are skillful on doing, will be outsourced to data scientists like you guys. And then you can become the real risk manager. And I think it's important takeaway, if at all there's any takeaway, that it is the rise of humans so that we can get better jobs. I remember when I joined the firm 26 years ago, I mean, there was no Microsoft. A lot of you take Microsoft for granted. We didn't have Microsoft, we didn't have systems. And I know the kind of work we used to do those days. We were completely unproductive for the most part. So for me, the technology, the data, the knowledge has improved the quality of the work I do.
Also at the summit were panel discussions on exploring the machine learning data science ecosystem by hands-on experts across the consulting, business, and academic space.
The power of data is to allow us to know what we don't know. Today we talk about financial inclusion because we do not understand why people are excluded. So data allows us to understand the behavior of the people who are excluded and then allow us to know what best can we do to include them. You recall that prior to now, banking, you have to get to banking hall, which was a barrier. Now, technology has allowed us to understand that you can take bank to where people are. Now, prior to now, banking was made to be highly sophisticated and highly dependent on technology. Now people are coming to realize that it can be simplified, that even in local language, that somebody who did not go to school can understand banking. So big data is a solution to financial inclusion because it allows businesses to understand what we do not know and what we can do to engage people in such a way that we can make them to trust the system and then still give them the guarantee that they think they get from traditional systems. Let me give an example. Traditional people who are not in banking do a SUSU. Now a SUSU is now digitized. So we are coming to learn that things that are critical in the local society context can be digitized and made relevant to the people who supposedly are financially excluded. So financial inclusion is possible by intelligent use of data, understanding the mindset of the people and the parameters, social-cultural parameters that define them, and that becomes a basis to defining things that will allow them to become included.
The rate of advancements in computing power from the bits and bytes to big data analytics, particularly in recent decades, has made it possible to retrieve data from a variety of sources or formats, process them, and present them in ways that are more helpful for decision making. Consequently, those who have gained superior mastery in how they translate massive data into actionable insights, impactful business decisions, enhanced services to customers, and the avoidance of risks and losses can create the future.